friends, today we're going to review Skills 5, Lesson 21. Let's look at our learning targets. I can write spellings for the following sounds: ch, j, k, s, g, and z. I can orally segment and blend two-syllable words with up to 7 phonemes. I can read and write two-syllable words composed of the inflected endings ing and ed, R-control vowels, ch spelled tch and j spelled g. I can read The Big Dig and answer questions about key details in the story. Sound dictation. Got a piece of paper and a pencil. We are going to practice writing the spellings for consonant sounds we have studied in previous units. Carefully and write the spellings for each sound. The first sound is ch. Write two spellings for the ch sound. The second sound is Write two spellings for the sound. The third spelling is j. Write three spellings for the j sound. Number 4, Write two spellings for the sound. Number 5, k. Write 4 spellings for the k sound. Number 6, s. Write two spellings for the s sound. Number 7, g. Write two spellings for the g sound. And number 8, z. Write 3 spellings for the z sound. Let's check your work. Great job. Let's blend two-syllable words. We're going to practice blending and segmenting now. The first word is garden. Say the word garden. How many syllables are in the word garden? That's right, 2 syllables. The first syllable in the word garden is gar. The sounds are g, r, gar. The second syllable is dead, dead. Together you have the word garden. I am going to say some more words. I want you to use your fingers and tap a finger to your thumb for each sound in that word. Listen to the word that I'm going to say. Shout out how many syllables there are. Attic. 2 syllables. Goldfish. 2 syllables. Mopping. 2 syllables. Darkness. That's 2 syllables. Sweeter. 2 syllables. Now, say thumb finger tap to represent each sound in the word that I say. Attic. A-t-i-k. Attic. Goldfish. G-o-l-d-f-ish. Goldfish. Mopping. M-a-p-i-n. Mopping. Let's do this next one together. The sounds are d, ark, n-s, darkness. How do we spell the d sound? D. How do we spell R? A-R. And how do we spell K? K. How do we spell N? N. How do we spell E? Very good, the letter E. And in this word, how do we spell S-S? Let's try another one. Sweeter. S-W-E-T-E-R. Sweeter. The first sound is S. In this word, how do we spell S? W. E. E-E. T. Very good, the letter T. E-R. Awesome job. Turn in your Skills 5 workbook to activity page 21.1 on page 105. Each sentence on this activity page has a blank with 2 word choices. Read the sentences and choose the word that makes the most sense. And write your name and today's date on this paper. Read each sentence and the 2 word choices provided for the blank. Pick the best choice for each sentence and write it in the blank. Number 1. We hoisted or planted the food up in the tree. Which one makes the most sense? Hoisted. I flipped off my letter and went to sleep. I flipped off my lantern and went to sleep. Which one? I flipped off my lantern and went to sleep. She was scratching a large bug bite. She was stuffing a large bug bite. That's right. She was scratching a large bug bite. Jack made Nan and Kate and Clatter to take them camping. Jack made Nan and Kate an offer to take them camping. Offer. Jack had matches for the fire. Jack had magic for the fire. Matches. The gents robbed the stagecoach. The outlaws robbed the stagecoach. Which one? Outlaws. They nabbed Bart after a long hunt. They nabbed Bart today a long hunt. After. In the end, Bart shaped up and was starting with crime. In the end, Bart shaped up and was finished with crime. Which one? Finished. Very good. Let's review our learning targets. I can write spellings for the following sounds. Ch, j, k, s, g, and z. I can orally segment and blend 2-syllable words with up to 7 phonemes. I can read and write 2-syllable words composed of the inflected endings ing and ed, are controlled vowels ch spelled tch and j spelled g. I can read The Big Dig and answer questions about key details in the story. Previous story, Two Good Things. What 2 good things happened? Kate and Max learned that the bone was a T-Rex bone and they get to name it. The bad thing that happened in the story is that Kate and Max cannot keep the bone because they found it in the state park. Let's see what you think is going to happen in today's story, The Big Dig. Let's review some spellings. Wrap, weave, I've, large, charge, digging, helpers, finished, no, and once. Let's review some core vocabulary. Expose. To expose means to reveal or uncover something. Site. A site is a place. Plaster. Plaster is a wet material that hardens when it dries and can protect things such as bones. Lab. A lab is a place where science experiments and research take place. Picks are tools with very sharp ends that can break away at rocks. Let's read today's story to find out how the big dig goes at the site where Kate and Max discovered a T-Rex bone. The Big Dig. Follow along and read with me. The Big Dig. When we went back to the cliff, the bone man was there with some helpers. They had scraped the side of the cliff to expose a lot of the T-Rex. So, will you dig out all of the bones here on site? Asked Nan. No, said the bone man. The next step will be to carve this cliff into large blocks of rock. Then we will wrap the blocks up in plaster. The plaster will keep the bones from cracking. Then we will use a large crane to set the blocks on trucks. Then the trucks will take them to my lab. Once the blocks are there, we will start digging the bones out of the blocks. What sort of tools do you use for that? Asked Nan. We use tools a lot like the ones dentists use on teeth, brushes, and sharp picks. Kate and I use forks, said Max. How long will it take to carve all of the bones out of the rocks? Jack asked. Well, said the bone man, we've got a lot to do. It will take some time because we have to be careful not to wreck the bones. Will you be finished by the end of the summer? I asked. No, said the bone man. You and Max will have to visit next summer and perhaps the summer after that. Then we can catch up on our digging progress. So, said the bone man, have you picked out a name for this T-Rex? Yes, I picked one, I said. All of the diggers stopped digging and looked at me. I said this T-Rex will be named Max, or if you like, T-Max. All of the men cheered. Max smiled. Who is the narrator telling the story? Kate is the narrator telling the story. I were the helpers scraping the side of the cliff. The helpers were scraping the side of the cliff in order to dig out more T-Rex bones. Steps will the bone man and his helpers take to get the T-Rex bones out from the cliff? The bone man and the helpers will cut the cliff into large blocks of rocks, wrap the blocks in plaster, lift the blocks with a crane to place on a truck, and then drive the blocks to the bone man's lab. The bone man says it will take a long time to finish all of their work. Why do you think it might take such a long time? Tell someone next to you what you think. What did Kate decide to name the T-Rex? She decided to name it Max, or T-Max. Take out your Skills 5 workbook and turn to activity page 21.2 on page 107. And write your name and today's date at the top of this paper. The Big Dig. In order to get the bones out, the diggers have to blast a hole into the cliff, get bigger tools soon, cut the cliff into large blocks of rock. Which one? They have to cut the cliff up into large blocks of rocks, and we found that on page 56. How will the plaster keep the bones safe? The plaster will keep the bones from cracking. What tools will they use at the lab to get the bones out of the blocks? They will use brushes and sharp picks to get the bones out of the blocks. did Kate name the T-Rex? Kate named the T-Rex Max or T-Max. Tonight, turn to your activity page 21.3 on page 109. Out these flashcards and practice reading words with V and R. Learning targets. I can read spellings for the following sounds: ch, j, k, s, g, and z. I can orally segment and blend two-syllable words with up to 7 phonemes. I can read and write two-syllable words composed of the inflected endings ing and ed. Are control vowels ch spelled tch and j spelled g. I can read The Big Dig and answer questions about key details in the story. Happy learning!